Welcome back to Blitz and Bloom. My guest today is Jonah Tavai, defensive lineman for the BC Lions. He comes from a family where football was clearly not just a hobby, it was part of the household. His journey has taken him through college football, an NFL opportunity, time away from the game, and now to the CFL with BC, where he is continuing to grow into his own name. We're going to get into all of that today. The family, the journey, the mindset, and what it takes to keep moving when things don't go as planned. But before we get too serious, we also have to talk about one of the most unhinged meals I've ever seen from a professional athlete, because the people deserve answers. Jonah, welcome to Blitz and Bloom.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on this show and just have this conversation with you.
Yes, thank you for being here. As I mentioned, I want to start light, which is the opposite of the meal I'm about to ask you about. Last year, Shaun White posted a photo from the Lions meeting room that showed what can only be described as a monumental meal. Sandwich 1 was made from 2 Krispy Kreme donuts, a rice cake, peanut butter, and jelly. Sandwich 2, also made from 2 Krispy Kreme donuts, but had 2 hard-boiled eggs, ham, and mayo. You also had a side of pickles and a coffee. Which of those 2 sandwiches was better?
I usually always do the peanut butter jelly, but that day I just decided to have something else, and it really didn't come out bad, and so I had it a couple more times and kind of just hid it away from Whitey so that he can't take pictures of it. But he sits right behind me in the meetings. I'm sure he has a lot more pictures of my food that he hasn't sent, but in the mornings, it's just something to get my day started sometimes. It's like we're out there, um, you know, just working and giving everything that we got on the field. So I try to enjoy the little things and little wins, and for me, eating obviously is a is a great hobby. It keeps me as long as I can on the field. The energy that I use it is an excuse, but the meal itself definitely gets talked about a lot. I coach a couple of teams out here, and they also saw the post, and so now I just have high schoolers and younger kids asking me, "Yeah, how was the sandwiches? What else do you eat?" And so now I got to tell them that's not what you're supposed to eat.
Anyone else on the Lions jumped on your rice cake sandwich train?
No, I don't think they are. I don't think they're ready for that.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm surprised that at least one other person, maybe this year, maybe you'll have some newbies that'll, take interest in your nutritional decisions.
Yeah, I think we've had a couple guys try to get into it and have some meals with me and decide to order the same thing as me, but I don't think it's for everybody.
Speaking of your meals, have you ever consumed something more bizarre than this? If so, what?
Thinking off the top of my head, I don't really think they're bizarre. Like I don't think that's bizarre. When I think about it myself, I really can't think about anything, but I feel like if you ask my teammates, they'll know. Sometimes we do like quantity, and sometimes that gets out of hand. I remember one time we had a Costco lunch with some of me and my D lineman, and we did like the calorie count at the end, and I think my meal was like 71. Then we went home, took a nap, and I had to go walk it off later.
Yeah, definitely need a nap after that. That's for sure. So, is this what a typical Jonah Tavai meal looks like?
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully, I might start meal prepping next year. But the putting together the food and the meals that I have like pregame or postgame really or days off, those I don't think they're gonna change for sure. I think the meal prep is just gonna be for the prep week practices, and then after that I'll have my usual meals.
your usual meals that for anyone else would be unusual, but
Yeah,
we'll roll with it. I like it.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully Whitey. Maybe I can reach out to him and say, hey, like, just bring in those photos. Let's keep reporting on this. And then you're gonna start like eating in the corner of the change room so that no one can
Yeah.
see you.
I think yeah, we like this. Eating like this.
I mean, you could start trolling him by like bringing in a salad or something.
But then that's like my morning. I'm gonna have to eat a salad in the morning and be like, okay.
I mean, you could eat your meal in the change room and then just bring the salad in and just like pick at it, not actually eat it.
And then give it to him. I'll give it to him after. Maybe that's what we'll do.
He'd enjoy the salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we've established that food is a big part of who Jonah Tavai is. I think another part that is a big part of who Jonah Tavai is your family, who, like I said, quite literally the definition of a football family. For all of you playing football at a high level and even some rugby, a lot of people hear football family and immediately think competition. For you, was growing up with your brothers really about competition, or was it support, pressure, expectation, or maybe all of it?
It was definitely all of it, but I think the aspect that we all got out of that growing up with each other was just being competitive. I don't think there's a day that we go when we see each other without having a competition. We used to compete who gets to the car first. We used to compete who's gonna get the most tries in the game, whether it be rugby or who gets the most tackles in football, who gets the most hits in baseball or things like that. Just being competitive with each other and having capable people around me definitely shaped me to be who I am today. And I think if you ask all of my brothers, they'll all say the same thing because there's not one of us who wasn't trying to beat the next. So that competition is still in effect today. Uh, whether it's something one person is good at, like golf, ping pong, or working out, pretty much anything. We play cards in every restaurant that we go into. And we've taken cards into four-star restaurants, into steakhouses, and literally cleared the table just to play cards right before. I think just having that in my background, having that with them, definitely pushed me towards where I want to be. And I know they'll say the same. The support, they always supported me in everything. I'm not the ideal size for a D lineman, um, but that never changed their mind. And so they would always tell me, like, yo, it doesn't matter about your size. It doesn't matter if you grow or not. Just go out there and do one thing at a time and just do it to the best of your ability and you'll be okay. And so just having that in my corner definitely kept my morale up. Um, it was never really down anyways, probably because of little competitions. But having them in my life, it was just probably the biggest blessing, not probably, is the biggest blessing even now. Just all the support they give me and all the love that we share with each other. So having them in my life is just changing it for sure.
Do you think that it's easier to have healthier competition between siblings than it is between teammates or friends?
Definitely. Um, Now I've had strong relationships with friends and teammates before, and we always have competitions, and it always helps, and it always pushes me forward. But there's just something different where you have your competitions, and like at the end of the day, you guys are going home to the same room sometimes, to the same house. You're eating at the same table. You're doing the same things on the weekends. You're spending about 90% of the time with these people. So I think some parts was like, yeah, after the competition, you still have to see them. But at the same time, yes, after the competition, you had to see them. So you don't really want to lose even more now. So I think it is healthy for sure. Obviously, there's going to be quarrels and fights in that healthy relationship. But at the end of the day, when you guys are sitting down at the table or your mom is taking you out somewhere or pretty much anything, you're laying down in the front yard, backyard, at the court. Um, there was just something different for me when I was doing that with my siblings.
What part in your athletic endeavors and with all of your brothers, what part did your mom play in that?
I think it might be easily to say like she was the biggest part that we've had. She was a stay-at-home mom when my dad was working a couple jobs, just to take care of the kids and make sure that we're head straight, we're thinking about the right things, we're doing the right things, we're using respect, we're using just everything that we have to give back. Um, but growing up, she was the one that would uh, take us to the practices, tell us what's going on, um, work her schedule around us pretty much because there was 7 of us. But then she would do other things like in the summers or off seasons when we didn't have that much. She was the one that took us to the field to go run. She was the one that um, found spots for us to do conditioning, to do trainings. She was the one that pretty much just kept us together. And honestly, she did probably too much. So now we love when she takes it easy. But I remember one time we went to our high school that all of us went to, and I was probably in let me say 4th or 5th grade, and my brothers were in 6th and 8th grade. And she told us, she was like, "Yeah, I'm still faster than you guys." And we kind of laughed, and honestly, we didn't think anything of it. And so at the end of the workout, we did like 15-yard sprints, and I think we lost all five. So the competitive nature is not just the siblings. She also hates to lose. She always talks about how she had uh, opportunities to play, but coming from Samoa, her and her family didn't really know everything um, about how like scholarships work or how college sports work. So she is definitely up there for athletes in my family. Uh, she played soccer, softball. She played volleyball. She's still playing cricket. She played um, in a tackle football league out here, and um, I honestly love to see it. And I love talking about her because she just did so much for us.
So amazing. I think like that was something I was wondering, when you have 5 boys, that's right, there's 5
6,
total. There's 6?
yeah, 6 boys and a girl. I have a younger brother and then a younger sister. Yeah,
Okay,
there's a
that
lot.
maths. Yeah, that's like not only a lot of kids, but that's a lot of testosterone in a household. I'm happy to hear that she also had a daughter to balance that out a little bit. But I love that she really just bought into it and she was really that driving factor and fed that competition. I think that's super cool. And obviously moms show up in different ways to support their kids, but I feel she was just so in depth and just so into it and so involved. And I think that probably contributed a lot to your guys' success and your willingness and ability to stay together through everything.
Yeah, I think she is definitely the cornerstone to our endeavors and success or whatever it may be. Maybe football and maybe pretty much anything else. Um, just knowing that we have somebody to come home to if anything goes wrong definitely helps us keep going.
So I want to ask about Girl Tavai. I want to hear about your sister.
We grew up and we kind of raised her a little tough, like just the brothers. Um, but obviously, she's got six older brothers protecting her. But sometimes it kind of feels like she's got six older bank accounts, and that's okay with us. We love spoiling her because she doesn't act out. She um, definitely looks at us like role models, but she's doing her thing, and we want her to experience the world. So right now she got a scholarship to play rugby in Georgia. So she's attending Life University. They always do good, and that's where she's at. She just came home for Easter. She's saying she loves it. Honestly, I'm happy that she does. As nice as her life was here, I think she needed to experience when life isn't nice. And she came back and told us, she said, "Yeah, I see what you guys are talking about now. That always helped us." But I ended up coaching her for 2 years on the high school rugby team I coach. And so our relationship kind of got even more intertwined. Some days she'd come home with me. She wouldn't talk at all in the car. And sometimes it was the exact opposite, but she always asks us for advice, whether it be life, school, rugby. There's always something that somebody can give in our family, and I think she's understanding that, and she's figuring out who we are still. Growing up with six siblings, that's a lot. And then growing up with six siblings, where five of them were already out of the house by the age of 10 or whatever it was, and in and out. That's also extremely tough. Um, but she is honestly, I really have no problems when it comes to her. Hopefully, she doesn't see that and start making problems. But it wasn't it wasn't hard for us to be like, okay, if you want to go to college, go ahead. If you want to go and play rugby over there, that's okay. Go ahead. You know where to come back to. And so, just her as a person has been growing enormously in the last couple of years. But I do miss the little one where I can be like, all right, let's go, let's go play now. We go to the park. We're gonna walk to 7-Eleven. And so she was kind of just like like you said earlier, like our little balance that we had. It was nice having six boys, but I think having a sister definitely helped us uh, kind of realize that there's a difference in that.
Yeah, adds a little bit of balance to the household. Is this how your mom ended up with so many boys because she just wanted a girl?
I think that's what she says. I'm gonna leave it at that though. Like, yes, I think my dad was okay having boys, and I think she really wanted to have a girl. So I think after she had her girl, she said, "All right, let, we're good now." And so now we got boys and one little princess girl.
She's just living her best life, just six older brothers to take care of her.
Oh, absolutely. She texted me the other day. She was like, "Hey, can I call you real quick?" Sure. Why would you? Yeah, I'm not busy. I, can I go to this concert? Yeah. You going with some friends? Yeah. Can you send me $30 to go to the concert? There it is. There it is. She's definitely living her best life, and we're all happy for her.
Is she the one that keeps you all humbled?
No, my mother does a great job at that. She, yeah, she does a great job. Last year we had like three brothers playing some type of sport, and if you walk in the house and you act like it, don't worry, you'll be right back outside. None of the rules change when we come over here to the house. You get slapped when you're cussing. You clean up after yourself. You do prayer. Nothing changes here. So I think every time we come home, it's just a here's your roots, and so like here's what you guys are coming back to. Um, and it just kind of reminds me that this is where it started. So I think she definitely does the best job at keeping us on.
She sounds like such an amazing woman.
Uh, all of her friends definitely think the same way. They'll come over to the house and we'll be around and I can hear them talking outside. How do you do it? How did you raise them? Like, all that. She goes, oh, you just raised them. I go, okay, mom. I think she was asking for advice, but some people just have instincts to do things, and um, I think her as a mother definitely clicked very easily.
I get the feeling that a lot of your, not only yours but your other siblings' success in sports really was built off that foundation that was created at home. And then, throughout your career in the game, you get taken into completely different environments and that foundation gets tested. For you, one of those moments was getting that NFL opportunity with Seattle. Even though it was short, how did that experience shape you?
Going into that opportunity that I had, honestly, was not an opportunity that I thought I was going to have for a long time. The last couple of years, I think my last 2 years in college was the first time I was like, hey, I might be able to play after college. So draft day came. I ended up signing about like 10 minutes after the draft, 5, 10 minutes after the draft. And I went downstairs because we were having a fundraiser downstairs with all my family here too. And so then I told my mom she can come in the room with me and my dad. And I told them first. They just congratulated me. They told me to get ready for it. All of my siblings, she ended up calling them in. And we just like had a little talk in the room with five very large humans as sons, my sister and my parents. We just had a little talk about what's to come, like what do we expect, and she honestly shut down the whole everything that was happening outside for our talk. So to say that I had support was an understatement for sure. After we talked, my brothers who also went through it, they ended up telling me what's going to go on, the rookie mini camp, when the vets come in, what to expect, some of the things that you can do. And it was honestly just that part of my life was a blessing. I got there and luckily I had a great coaching staff over there. They taught me things that I didn't already know and we built like some good connections out there and relationships that already last past that. So just looking back on that time, it was a learning lesson for sure, how to take care of yourself and how to treat your days as being a pro, and but when I look back at it, it was it was a step that I don't regret taking, and I honestly just really look at it as a blessing. So now when I go out to the field and go out to practice and go to the weight room or go to the training room, it might end soon, and you never know, like, if this is your last play. You don't know if this is your last game, your last practice. And I think taking that mentality into games and into practices even more after that opportunity was something that I needed. And so I think it kept pushing me and it kept testing me for sure.
It sounds like you got a lot of, like, experience and confidence almost out of that experience when, like, typically when people, get into the NFL and then don't continue on, that usually is a little bit of a hit to their confidence, and they have to rebuild that a little bit. What was that process like for you?
After being released by the Seahawks, we were waiting for an opportunity to play again in the NFL. But for a little bit, it was kind of feeling like, yeah, it might not be the road that I should take. But at the same time, everyone in my family was like, there's no way that you can just end right there. Because I told some of them, I said, should I, should I just start working, start a career? They said, no, because if you do, in 20 years from now, you regret finishing at that point, then you're just going to have to live with that regret. So I think just having that was definitely like a booster for me when I was going through all that. But it didn't really change much. I wanted to get back into the NFL, and I was looking at UFL tryouts. I ended up not going to any. Then I think it might have been like a January, February signing where Rick Maiden called, and I told him, I was like, if you guys want me, then I want to be there. And so he was in contact with me all through that situation, even before Seattle. At my pro day is the first time we met, um, and he was in contact with me the whole time. And so, just feeling that, it was like that might be a place where I want to be, and not, I'm real happy that I made that choice. Now going on my third year with the Lions too. It was kind of like, okay, we we made one stride, we made it through a hurdle, and now we're we're gonna keep going. But being cut, it was just kind of like a little eye opener where you still got to work to get what you want. A lot of people say the grind never stops, and it really doesn't. I think I think that's what gave me that aspect was being called up to the office, them telling me that uh, there's things that they need that I wasn't giving them, and being cut. Looking at it like I can either be down and whine about it, but then if I do that, my brothers are gonna make fun of me. My mom's probably gonna punish me in some other way. Um, when I think about like all the people that helped me to get to where I'm at, there's just no way that I was gonna leave it at that. So uh, it definitely opened my eyes again, just to be grateful for what I had and what I have currently, and the people and the relationships that I have.
The part about that that I actually really appreciate was when you said we decided. So it was when you got cut, it wasn't even a you thing. It was like this family collective decision. And then even, when you speak about the support that you get from them and they're like, hey, like, no, like, don't give up on this dream when in a majority of society, they'd be like, no, you should probably like play it safe, get a job, get a career because this isn't a for sure thing. But I love that in your family, it's no, this is the norm. The norm is to chase these big, scary dreams that are a gamble and they might not work out. But if there's just no other option, you just do that. That's just what your family does. Just like your mom is, she just parents, she just raises her kids. And it's just that simple.
Yeah.
You guys just chase athletic dreams like it's, taking out the garbage. It's just so second nature.
Yeah, I think just going off of that was mom just she would hate for us to live with regret. She always told us, even before like we were in high school and when my oldest brothers were in high school, go and get your education before anything else, just so that you have something to lean back on. Our oldest five were all graduates. Fourth brother has two masters, and she always made it a point where it was, this is what you're going to lean on when sports aren't there. But at the same time, take sports as far as it can go and as far as it's going to take you. And so living the dream and chasing dreams is always going to be the first and foremost thing that's in my family's mind. If your dream is to be an astronaut, okay, let's do it. What's the first step? So just knowing that I have that little support corner right here for me to lean on definitely is my biggest blessing.
I can see how that has just given you this never ending support and belief. I mean, a lot of people definitely don't have that. And I'm sure you're well aware of how lucky you are to have that. But I'm also curious if there's, pieces of that that are challenging because you have so much support, because everyone's so driven.
I think in our family, there's a lot of people do comparisons, like between the brothers. That can definitely get challenging for sure. But like in my family, competitions kind of just make us fight sometimes. But like we always have people comparing us. Oh, your brother's doing this. Oh, he's doing this. Hey, your sister she's going to the number one college for rugby. Um, everything in the book. But when we come back to the house, none of that really matters to us. It's just our parents and their 7 kids in the house having dinner. It's not, oh, he went did this. Oh, she went did that. He went did this. None of that matters to us. That's all outside talk for everybody else. And whatever's outside that door, we're going to take with a grain of salt. Just because a lot of the things that matter are within our family. And now some of our, two of my brothers have their own families, and I know they're just the same. Gonna everything in that family is gonna be very important, and everything outside of that door as well is gonna be taken with a grain of salt. I think just the comparisons for sure have been there, and probably just the most challenging part of having siblings that are doing things great. But a lot of us who had played after college, none of us would be here without the rest of the brothers, without the rest of our family. Our first our oldest brother had to go through not knowing how the educational system really worked. And so he was the first to graduate high school. He was the first one to graduate junior college. He was the first one to get the to graduate college in Kansas. But he went through things that I'll never have to go through because he's gonna tell me what happened. And then that goes on to the second brother where he's not gonna make the same mistakes. He's still gonna make mistakes. But then the third brother is not gonna make the same mistakes that the two first ones gonna make mistakes at because they're gonna tell him. And so now I'm the fifth brother. I got four older brothers who have, I think, been through everything in the book. And I also go through stuff. So now I'm trying to pass that down to the sixth one and now lastly to our little sister. Um, I just I can't express how much gratitude I have for our family.
It sounds like your home is really just this giant reset. It's like as soon as you walk through that door, no matter what's happening on the outside, everything just quiets. And you could walk in there with 10 Super Bowl rings, and your mom's going to be like, I actually don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. That's great, but like, not here.
But that's cool. Can you take out the trash? Thank you.
I love that. And like, honestly, the time that I've spent with you with the Lions, I can see, a lot of who I saw you to be makes a lot of sense now talking about all of this, just the calmness and the humbleness and it all it all checks out. And I think that's contributed a lot to your success. And I actually want to jump into BC Lions stuff a little bit. Going from obviously playing the American game, when you got to BC, I know you had a brother who also played in the CFL, but what was the biggest adjustment about the CFL game for you?
The yard off. I think my first day, I think I was offsides probably like 5 times. Um, but it definitely I think it's a disadvantageous for me to be yard off because it kinda lets the old lineman see where I'm going. Because that was a big part of my repertoire as coming out as a D lineman is was lateral movement and just things like that. Things that'll catch you by surprise. And obviously with that yard off, it's a little harder for me to do that. But when we make adjustments and I had great vets when I first got in, and they were teaching me things that I probably would not have figured out on my own as fast or if ever. Uh, so a lot of my success definitely contributed to um, that first year team, whether it be the coaches, the players, the staff, the training staff, just all around.
Going into your first year, you didn't walk in and immediately have a guaranteed role. What did that first year what did that first year in BC teach you about patience and earning trust and that process?
I think going into that first year, I had expectations and they were high, but it wasn't like, hey, you're gonna go into this team and you're gonna because it's in Canada, you're gonna go and just run over everybody and get the starting spot. So I think going into it, I didn't have that mindset, and it kind of helped when they told me that they were gonna just sign me to the practice squad. Uh, but when they did, I went to the vets that I trusted, and they just told me, they said, "We all know you're a good player. That's why they kept you. There's no way you're not going to play this year. And when you do get that chance, just take that chance and run with it. And so I think it was like week 6 or week 5, I think week 6. We had a couple injuries in the D tackle room. They told me that I was gonna play my first game against the 4-0 Saskatchewan Roughriders. um, and like I remember just right before I hit the field, all the D linemen are telling me like, "Hey, this is your shot right here. You were waiting all that time. You were doing all the special teams at practices. You're doing scout team on practices. You're doing the reps over there, but this is your shot. Like, this is your opportunity." And I kind of just I wanted to go. And so my brother was actually having my brother was actually having a baby shower that exact day. Somebody took a picture for me, and it's all of them around one iPhone, all watching the game at the baby shower. Like, like it's finally time. Like they finally have a little bit of time, and they're all standing there right before they go and do something else. And after the game, and after I saw that picture, I was like, "Hey, trusting the process is definitely something that you need to learn. Just learning patience on different things that we're going to be in the CFL was honestly enlightening. And I'm happy that it happened that way, and I'm happy where I'm at right now. So I'm blessed that it happened, and I'm blessed where I'm at. So I have no complaints.
So BC has now extended you through 2027. What does it mean when a team doesn't just give you a chance, but shows they believe in building with you by investing in you?
What I really felt in the moment when they were talking to me about it, and when I signed my new contract, they told me that they wanted me in BC, and I told them I wanted to be in BC because one, I love the culture around there, and I love the coaches and the players, but also they were there when I needed an opportunity, and they were the ones that gave it to me. So having that trust between me and them, where they're able to extend me and say like we have a future together, that was a heartfelt. It's just someplace I want to be. And I told them that from the very beginning, when we first started talking about this year and the future. I told them, I said, "This is where I want to be. As long as you guys want me to be here, this is where I want to be." And so I'm happy it worked out. And I'm excited. I'm excited to go back.
I think BC as a whole is definitely happy to have you back. And I'm sure all of the O linemen on BC are also thrilled that they do not have to go up against you in games. Speaking about players and the vets and the amazing players that you've been around, if you were to create a starting defensive line that you were a part of, out of all of the players you've played with, it can be current, it can be past players, who is your dream D line? Who do you want to be on the field with?
But this is hard. I'm trying not to be biased right now. 'Cause if you want my real answer, yeah, it's just gonna be my brothers.
I mean, it's a valid. Like the mental communication that the four of you would have together would be like uncomparable. Like no one else can accomplish that ever.
We have 3D tackles, uh, edge rusher, and a linebacker that does it all. Yeah, that might be the one for me. No offense to all my other teammates. I've had amazing teammates. I've had freshmen All American in college. I've had even in Seattle. I had players who were going on their 10th year. Even last year with Betts winning defensive player of the year, Shiona and Banks, and just I can go off. probably like a list of 120, but I'm gonna be biased. If we had one where we ran a bear front with 5 down, and it was me, my brother Justice, and my brother Jordan in the middle, and JR and Jelani on the outside. Yeah, I think we just call it a game.
Would be a problem.
Yeah, and then we'd have a little competition of who gets the most tackles and who gets the most sacks. We actually had a competition when I was younger growing up. We used to play rugby together. I had a competition with my brother, like who was going to score the most tries. I ended up tackling him before the try line just so that he wouldn't score again. I lost still, but the other team was looking at us like, did that just happen? Like, what's going on? And you just hear me and him laughing at the bottom of the pile, and it's just something I won't forget.
That is the definition of a sibling rivalry, if I haven't heard one before.
Yeah.
So I want to shift from you in the game to you in the community and something that you were involved in this past off season that I saw, because I think it speaks to the bigger responsibility that players can have in growing the game. You were involved in some girls flag football programming. What was it that what was it that made that something you wanted to pour some time into? And tell me a little bit more about how you were involved and what you were doing.
So my first off season when I came back, one of the founders of the program like hit me up and he said, "Hey, we kind of heard about you, and we'd love for you to like come and coach and help this program build." And I honestly told him right there, I was like, "Yeah, I might not be the best flag football coach. I don't know if you know, but I'm a D lineman." And he goes, "No, don't worry about that. We want people who are knowledgeable in the game and just who are actually out there to help and get the girls to grow." And so I was still a little skeptical, and I went out. And I went out there for my first practice. And for the first practice, I didn't do anything. I kind of just stood on the side and watched. And when I was watching, I was like, dang, this all girls team, they really want to play football. And it was kind of my first time seeing that. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll come to next practice just to see like all the girls that are happy to be out there to play football and have that sport for them now was kind of mind blowing. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I think I can stay here. And so obviously I had to study up on um some more flag football rules and concepts for just flag football, but there was a lot of transitioning into from my football to their football. So it wasn't the hardest thing to do, but going out there and helping that team grow. Now we're even bigger than last year, and it doesn't look like it's really going to stop. So I'm just happy I got the opportunity to help not just that program, but like all of the girls there that I coach grow in some type of way. Definitely has more meaning than just me. Yeah, I played for the CFL. Really feels like I'm back here in the community.
What stood out to you the most being around those girls and seeing how they showed up to the game?
That they were showing up with a smile. A lot of the teams that we play are kind of like a no smile crowd. I actually coach with my brother here and or two of my brothers here and one of my close friends. There was always everybody always told us to have fun. When you're out there, you gotta have fun. Um, to see the girls coming to the games and to the tournaments with a smile on their face, like they want to be there and they're going out and winning games and just like having fun with not just themselves, but like with other teams when they get the chance, that definitely helped me. Like when I'm thinking about what I was doing, dude, should I really be out here? Should I be training? But when I see stuff like that, it's like, how can I give this up? They're kind of already ready to go, and 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 I bribed them a lot with some snacks. I actually just grabbed them some snacks yesterday, but they genuinely want to be out there and they want to get better at football and they want to be out there playing the game. So I think when we're going into games, that's something that I look for because I feel like if the girls didn't really want to be there, yeah, I would also. My first tournament, I had girls talking about football that I didn't even know. They were talking about players in the NFL. I was like, yeah, they were talking about games that I haven't watched. I was like, we had girls trying to watch the games on the sideline. I said, you got to put that away. Oh, sorry, they're playing right now. Sorry, no. Uh, and just that overall, just want to be there. I think that's what stood out to me most.
In my time with girls football with flag and tackle, I know there's been a lot of instances where I've gotten male coaches out and I learned very quickly that I need to give them a little bit of a pep talk and a warning because it can be quite shocking and humbling to some of them. And from my experience, a lot of the girls, they're like, I don't know who you are. You could be 10-time All-Star and have all the Super Bowl rings. And they're like, I don't really know. And I also don't care. And I find that there's been a lot of men that I've introduced to coaching girls and they're just mind blown. They're like, this is so cool. They just want to be here, exactly like you said. And a lot of them have not gone back to coaching boys or men's football after working with the girls because it's just different. And I'm curious, what is something that you've learned from coaching girls?
I also coach a all girls rugby team, and luckily for me, I coached them before the flag football team. But like, while I'm coaching girls, I've noticed like there's just got to be a balance for boys, or at least for me personally. If a coach was pushing me, I did not care. I was like, yeah, we got to get better. I found like when coming to coaching girls, you can't take the same aspect of yeah, go push them into the ground and then they'll magically just come back and ready to play. Um, so when I first started coaching a rugby team, uh, I was the nice coach, and we had our bad cop, good cop going on, and it definitely taught me like, yeah, the girls are ready to work and they're ready to go, but at the end of the day, like their relationship with their coach like, matters. Because if you don't have a good relationship with them, they're not going to want to go back. And we've had that a couple times where the relationship wasn't there, and it wasn't. They ended up like either going to a different program or moving on to a different sport. But it was never like, oh damn, they left us. That might be better for them. So just growing relationships with players is definitely like kind of what helped me uh, like transition into all of my coaching, like from the girls programs. Now I already like as a player, I think I already talked to the coaches a little too much, and so my relationship with the coaches um, is never bad. But I didn't think of it the other way around, like how important it is for a coach to actually have a relationship with their players. That was something that I learned in the past couple of years, just like how important that one was.
Appreciate that. And I think, you being involved in the community, especially working in girls sports, I think it really matters. And I know, like, I say this all the time, the feeling that girls and women in sport get when a professional athlete is supporting them and being involved with them in that athletic community is huge. It gives this like clarification on, people are investing in you and people are investing in the sport. And I think that's where a lot of the time that relationship becomes so important, because a lot of the world is telling these girls and these women, you don't really belong here. There's nothing here for you. And they hear that a lot, but then to like have people who are legit tell them, yes, you deserve to be here. You belong here and I'm going to support you, does a lot.
Yeah.
So, speaking for all women and girls, thank you for being one of those coaches who's really stepped up to support those sport communities. Now, we're going to shift gears a little bit before we close this out and jump into some rapid fire. One sentence or less, no explanation, no justification, first instinct only.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start off simple. Favorite pregame song or artist?
Never scared.
Biggest trash talker you've ever played against?
I don't really have people talk trash to me.
Fair. Is Betts' sack record safe from you?
No.
Excellent. Who keeps you grounded and humbled?
Mother. My mother.
First person you call after a big game?
My mom.
The mama's boy over here. We love to see it. One value you were raised on?
Respect.
One word your family would use to describe you?
Devil.
What do you want people to feel when they watch you play?
Excitement.
What do you overthink the most?
Love.
What part of yourself has football challenged the most?
Trust.
What version of yourself are you currently trying to outgrow?
Last year's.
What's one truth you've learned the hard way?
Closed mouths don't get fed.
All right. Before I let you go, I want to end on something strong. We've talked about where you've come from, what's shaped you, and where you're headed. In 2026, the version of Jonah Tavai that we will see is
the most courageous and goal-driven Jonah that there's been in a while.
What's one of your top goals for the 2026 season?
Beat Betts in sack.
I feel like you've just found a brother on the team. You're like, well, I don't have an actual brother here, so now it's Betts.
Yeah, don't worry. We all I compete with Jonah, Betts, Tebow. I think everybody that goes on the D line is just always a brother competition to me, and so we treated it like that, and that's how I'm gonna continue to treat it.
I mean, the resemblance between you and Betts is striking. So,
Yeah, some people we're gonna like switch jerseys, and nobody will know.
no, not a chance. It just cookie cutters of each other. All right. Well, Jonah Tavai, thank you very much for jumping on Blitz and Bloom. We really appreciate all of the conversation, and we are looking forward to watching you this season.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye, everybody.